It's backseat drivers time. Good evening and welcome to take 2 of week 3 of Backseat Drivers 2023. I think we're online now, going by the comments. I'm having a little bit of trouble with the internet tonight, so if I do drop in and out, I apologise. I'll do my intro again because it was great. The Alonso hype train is in full swing. Apparently Red Bull, these guys won the race over the weekend. We didn't get to see them on TV, so it is questionable whether they did win or not. Fred Vasseur has not fixed Ferrari yet, and who needs stadium super trucks when you have IndyCars that can do jumpy things? That was pretty spectacular to watch. Anyway, introducing our panel once again is Matt Stroll, who's fully on the hype train. We've got Silent Fudd, who's not so silent, hopefully. A bit distracted playing games.
He's playing games at work, Dave. Tell him off.
And we've got the Felipe Drugovich that actually turns up, our super sub, Buffy.
G'day.
No one's broken their wrists and needs a super sub, but we've got him here anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I've got to do
What happened there, Dave? Didn't he break his wrist and all of a sudden wasn't racing and now all of a sudden is?
I think if you're rich enough, you can buy yourself new wrists.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
A couple of titanium screws and he was right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
saw the
didn't
Instagram.
see it, but apparently he got carried out of the car at the end because he couldn't get out.
Oh no, Dave! He does that because he's rich. When you're a rich Canadian, you don't have to move yourself. You're like,
his manservants carried him out.
I don't know if you remember, Dave, in like ancient Greek times, they just carry people around. I think they're just reliving that.
Well, couldn't they then maybe get someone better to drive the car for him, and he just like sits in the back or something?
No, because this is how he buys his son's love.
Is it? He gets Mario Andretti in the two-seater IndyCar to drive him around.
Yeah. Having said that, though, like considering the injuries,
he did well.
If it was anyone else, we'd probably be saying what an effort rather than making fun of him.
I believe he did finish 8th, which is a good 10 positions above when rest in peace Godifi would ever finish. So. Or anyone else.
Granted, the Strolls have spent more than what the Latifis have.
Dave, from what I've learned in F1, it's not how much you spend. It's if you get caught at the end of the year catering too much.
Well, there is questions raised about how big the catering budget at Aston Martin is already this year.
I'd imagine it's like an all-you-can-eat buffet.
Yeah, and whether the development will continue because they may have already done all the catering for the year.
Also, we've got to remember Stroll did better than Dan did with 2 good wrists.
Yeah, but also I'd like to point out,
did he though?
Dan did quite well now that we've seen how bad the McLaren car, the clown car, it should be called now.
Yep,
but you can't judge it on 2 broken cars. Well,
I'm already making judgment.
We are going to jump to conclusions here.
We are jumping 100% to conclusions.
I'm holding out.
McLaren has done Dan the biggest favour of his career.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
I'll happily get paid 18 million to do nothing for a year.
Rob,
he's going to have
jumping to conclusions.
Yeah.
By Spain, he will be a busy man.
Not after Perez's performance.
He towed the company line.
Yeah, he came second. He did all right.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. He was only 11 seconds behind, so I don't know if Max was just taking his time up front.
Ooh. I like Max's comment there.
Then is Williams the new Jet Force India?
Basically.
Yeah.
Williams is the new Jet Force India, and McLaren is the new Williams. Yeah.
So Dave and everyone else, it can be decided that we're going to jump to conclusions. McLaren are done. Dan Ricciardo is a genius who got paid $18 million to leave a we won't say toxic workplace, but a shit tip.
Yep.
And he can now travel around the world watching McLaren crumble as he sits in a, I don't know, VIP box and does host guest commentary for Sky.
The only bad thing for him at the moment is that the Red Bull seems to be that far in front that Max won't have to try, so Perez will finish second and look like he's close to Max.
Oh, so you say that because it's so good now, Perez just literally has to turn up and he'll keep his job?
Basically.
Yeah, he has to do a Bottas. Probably
what if
better than what Bottas did a Bottas.
What if Alonso starts challenging him?
That's where it may start falling apart.
Because I think also Alonso probably has the combination of him and his car, probably second or third best car on the grid.
Probably.
Yeah, I think Ferraris are still in front, but then he beat Carlos in a straight fight.
Yeah.
Because there was no real reason for him. And he got strolled on the first lap too.
Yeah.
He did.
He did.
He got angry. He got angry, and then they had to have that awkward conversation at the end where was it the race principal or Papa Stroll had to explain to him that
I think it was the race principal.
It was friendly fire. Please don't make a big deal about it because he's already been reported
on the radio.
On the radio.
Who hit me?
Yeah, who hit me? Who hit me?
Have they been penalised yet?
Yeah.
Was this one of
I don't
our?
care who it is. Penalise them.
Was this one of our predictions that we did when Stroll and Alonso would hit? Did anyone have first corner?
The meltdown didn't happen.
No,
It wasn't a meltdown.
I think the
meltdown was
the meltdown.
The meltdown was supposed to be Ocon.
There's still 20 odd races to go. Let's not,
Well, Ocon and the Ocon Perez thing couldn't happen because the Gasly thing didn't happen because they weren't even close enough to each other.
No.
Well, Ocon decided he didn't want to race.
There's that too.
Ocon is the new Pastor Maldonado.
Well, we've all decided that e-scooter is the new Ferrari principal and Nostradamus of F1 then.
Yep.
It's good to see e-scooter back since he wasn't here last week.
He just needs to turn up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He's the Perez of this chat. If he turns up, he wins every night.
Yeah.
So,
right,
Dave, can you explain to me, was it the what was it, 40-second penalty?
Oh, jeez.
Well, he didn't at the start. He was out of his grid slot.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He was too far forward.
It was like compounded errors of like not listening.
Yeah. So then it was a 5-second penalty for that.
First one was a 5-second.
At 4.6 seconds, they started working on the car. They didn't wait the full 5 seconds before.
But he was also speeding in the pit lane.
Then he sped in the pit lane on the way out.
Well,
was that when he was serving the penalty for?
I thought
that
was
when he was serving the penalty.
Yeah,
it was like one after another. So he did one penalty. He copped one penalty, did a pit stop, copped another penalty, did a pit stop, and then copped another penalty. And then I'm not sure if he did a pit stop or not after that.
That would probably have to go down as one of the most penalised races for one driver.
Yeah, I think so. What do you get? 40 seconds in total?
He equals Pastor Maldonado for the most time penalties in a race.
Oh, wow.
Rob, do you get paid for mentioning him every podcast? Are you sponsored by him today?
I am.
Okay, here's a drinking game for everybody.
I think Rob's sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends and Rob's new mate.
Or Husk Knives.
I haven't seen that one, Buffy.
The Husk Knives, oh my god, they're shocking. I actually bought one for my dad. Don't ask. Hey, I got my money back. I got a free knife. Because I paid by PayPal.
Shopping tips with Buffy.
Yep.
we've changed from a motorsport.
We're just a shopping network now.
Hey, Matt mentioned Raid Shadow Legends. I just mentioned them as a sponsor. That's it.
I believe also
Manscaped.
I think Mr. Norris also almost broke a record for most pit stops, which is
you want. I think he equaled Jenson Button's
6 or 7.
record. 6, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although Jenson went on to win the race.
Dave, after about 4, should you just realise maybe there's something wrong with the car?
I think they were just running it to try and learn stuff.
Yeah.
Isn't that what testing's for? I mean, I'm not an F1 principal or run a team, but
They didn't have enough testing time.
Yeah.
They were in the pits fixing because they were in the pits fixing the car.
And yeah, they're in a very backward position right now. So the more track time they can get, the better that they can actually.
Is that because they're $18 million in debt right now?
That's
that
part of it.
doesn't help, but it's not part of the cost
The
cap.
cap this year?
Yeah.
Because they got rid of it all last year.
No, I don't think, because he's not a driver.
Okay.
So he's not a McLaren employee. So I don't think it falls under the cost cap, that one.
Okay, fair enough.
That sounds like that's rife for exploiting, Dave. Like if I don't know, Papa Stroll had a engineer who's not really an employee of Aston Martin, but he's really clever at aerodynamics, and maybe they just had a chat.
Yeah, but Dan isn't doing any work for McLaren this year. So
I mean, he's showing them what they've clearly done very, very wrong, and pointing out their mistakes at an $18 million magnification.
Yeah. So my little rant for the week this week is: was that the right decision for McLaren? Like, the position that they're in, would they have been actually better off with Dan in the car as someone that they know?
It's only going to cost them an extra $1 million or $2 million for Oscar to be in there.
I still reckon Oscar's probably going to get stolen by someone.
Give him a couple of years.
That's the
he
thing.
will leave and go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And you probably lose Norris as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he'll be at Audi.
Audi.
Yeah.
Audi. He'll go with him.
Yeah.
Which we
I'm
could
saying
see.
he's taken over Lewis's spot. Once Lewis becomes an enviro warrior and he flies around on a jet plane saving polar bears.
No, he sold it. He actually sold his jet plane.
Well, then he's going to buy another jet plane, Booby, and paint it green. And he'll call it Lewis Saves the World. It becomes a Netflix series where he just walks around and holds baby animals and goes, "Don't worry, Penguin, I'm here for you." And it's
And I will not eat you.
Yeah.
Remember, Dave, you can't have your rant without your intro screen.
Oh yeah, exactly.
It's over. It's over now.
Oh.
It wasn't really it was more a question.
That's the only reason I come to this is to watch your splash screen. Your intro.
We've got some more.
Excellent.
I know,
excellent.
of course, for sure.
So basically, it's McLaren now just back of the class, naughty kids gang now.
Basically.
Supposedly they realised a few months ago that they were in trouble, and they started going down a different development path, but it's not going to be ready until, I think it might have been Baku.
Yeah, that's what they were saying.
So you've got Jeddah, Australia, and then they'll have the
Baku.
updates ready.
So, Dave, during the entire season, you can still do development on your car.
Yeah. It's just you're limited by your money then.
Limited by money and the amount of aero time you have, depending on where you finished last year.
But like I said, Dave, what if, and let's pretend that I am Papa Stroll, and I just happen to have a mate called Boovy who's got an engineering background, and I'm like, hey, get Boovy, here's $1 million for no reason, just because we're good mates, but also written on this napkin, here's a rough diagram of my car porpoising. Can you maybe stop it from shaking? Anyway, back to lunch. Let's have a Diet Coke.
This is where it gets very hard to judge it all.
Matt, you've gone into a very grey area.
Yeah. So
sometimes he screwed it 100% of the time.
This is as well, you've got Red Bull technology or whatever that does the design work or whatever, and then on sells it to Red Bull. Like Ferrari, you've got the car company where how can you guarantee that the guys working in the car company
Yeah,
are
that's
not
what I mean.
doing...
What's stopping you from just having a consultant that sells you, like what most companies do? They own the IP and then sell it back to another company.
Well, there is certain things, like say when Red Bull sell their like gearbox and rear suspension and that to Toro Rosso, there's a figure amount, like so they can't turn around and go, oh well, we're going to sell it to you for $5. It's like there is the amount is set or whatever that if you're buying a gearbox or whatever, it's $1.5 million or something like that. So whether you actually sell it for $3 million or whatever, or if you sell it for $5, it goes down in the accounts at least the designated amount or whatever that they feel that it's worth.
What if, and just going by a TV show I watched where they had a farm and they sold, you can buy this gearbox for $30, but it also comes with this, small power unit that just happens to be tapped underneath the gearbox.
Yeah, well, see, that's a different matter in there as well.
Yeah.
I reckon they should be allowed to sell stuff to recoup some of their money. So, if they've got a couple of spare wings around or something, they can sell them off to the public, and what money they get, goes back.
Yeah, but see, what happens is then, Papa Stroll.
Yeah.
I'll buy that wing for like $200 million, but it's only worth $20,000. Yeah, but I just really, really want it, even though I own the team.
Or I just got this guy to buy it for me.
Yeah. So that's where the cost cap stuff gets very hard.
That's why you need accountants.
Yeah.
Well, I think maybe that's why you don't need accountants, Boovy, because they're the ones that fudge the numbers and go, oh, one potato, $80 million. Oh, no.
No, but then, of course, you've got people saying, but then you've got other accountants that say, wait a second, that's not right. We know how much everything's worth.
Well, that's where they started questioning, Ferrari were questioning Red Bull last year because they were bringing updates to most of the races where Ferrari would be like, hey, we can't afford to continually do updates. How are these guys being able to afford them? Well, you fudge it in the catering budget and then you're all good to go.
Do you reckon they could move to a third world country where the labour's cheap and do it there? So, they start moving all the teams to China and...
That's another question, because I think it was Sauber was saying because of the labour laws in Switzerland, it makes it a lot harder. And a similar thing with the Renault engines being built in Viry, the labour laws are quite different in France to, say, England, where the other engines are being built, or Italy.
Yeah.
Which then they're saying, well, we should have a bit more on ours because it costs more to employ people.
Yeah, which is fair.
Yeah.
But then you also get, say, then Ferrari would be like, hey, we need more money because we need to relocate people, say, from England to Italy. Whereas, you've got 7 teams within England that they can freely move without having to move houses and stuff. Whereas when Ferrari employs someone new, they've got to pay. In general, if they're stealing someone from Mercedes, they pay relocation costs.
Yeah.
It'd be the same for Toro Rosso as well.
Maybe Mr. Ginger Spice can then just say all my employees have to be relocated from Mars and they cost $2 million each. And I have 40 of them. So can I have lots of money, please?
Well, that's where it gets hard with things like that, because then if you say relocation costs are out, it's like, oh, well, they need to relocate from Woking to Milton Keynes.
That's pretty far.
I'm going to give them, $5 million worth of relocation. That doesn't meet the cost cap. Yeah.
So it's a tricky situation in terms of how they're trying to keep everybody on a cost cap. It's a difficult situation. It's going to be tough for the F1 accountants to try and keep on top of this, on top of spending and catering costs, thanks to Red Bull. It is going to be very difficult. But judging by how they've done how they've said to Red Bull, look, you've done this once, you do it again, well, then you're gonna cop the bigger fine.
But isn't it, Dave? Isn't it just like you teaching me about how F1 rules basically work? They give you a rule book and say, here's what you need to do. You find a way around it. They tell you off. You're like, okay, well, I've done that exploit. Now on to the next exploit. The next year, they're like, oh, Red Bull, you know how we said you weren't allowed to do that thing with the wing, but now you've done that thing with the mirror? That's two separate things, though, so we obviously can't compound the, so you now no longer can't exploit the mirrors and the front wing, but if you can find someone in year 3 about, I don't know, the air ducts, and you just keep...
Yeah. But I think gradually they will. Yeah, but they'll start to close it up a lot more. And I mean, I'd be more inclined to be to get it close rather than like where you've got the rules that bring the cars quite close. Now the spending limit, and say Red Bull can't go, or Ferrari, Mercedes can't go and spend another 100 million than the others, because that would be quite obvious.
Yeah.
Whereas if you spend 400,000 extra, it buys you a world championship according to Toto, but it's not.
And then Toto goes and tells Ferrari that, and then they have a little chat together. And then when Mr. Spice comes past, he goes, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'm talking about you."
But how many seasons of Mercedes being in the mid pack will it take before they leave?
I don't think they will.
No,
it's very cheap for Mercedes with that team now.
Yeah,
with the Ineos investment and Petronas sponsorship and
everything else.
Well, Dave, I just noticed that you remember the sponsorship, so you're doing better than Lewis Hamilton does.
I remember the name of it. Yeah, the name a team that starts with M. Oh, McLaren.
You and George can stay on the team.
What about Vettel? Name a team that starts with R. And he goes Renault.
Do you reckon Lewis got called up in like Toto's office and he's like, "I need you to tell me the full name of the team right now while I've got our major sponsors on speakerphone right now, just to make sure that you know what you're saying."
Mercedes.
That being said, Dave, most of this, normally your sponsors, like Red Bull, let's be honest, is a cool company. They do cool things. People know what Red Bull do, right? They're a drink. They jump out of helicopters and land, or jump out of space. What does a Petronas do? It's not an exciting... it may as well be you're sponsored by City Power. It's that boring. I wouldn't be mentioning it. If you want to mention...
sell oil products. That's what they are.
An oil product. Booby, that's not exciting. Red Bull, they have a guy that jumped out of a plane into space.
Yeah, I know that. Out of a weather balloon.
Yeah. And I think McLaren is sponsored by Android. So, at least that's... Was it Google? Are they sponsored by...
No, they're sponsored by Google.
Yeah, see?
They're sponsored
people
by
know
Google.
What Google and Red Bull are. No one knows what Petronas is.
Or TeamViewer.
Yeah. Not many people will know what TeamViewer is. Yeah, Dave doesn't know what TeamViewer is, Booby. He doesn't work in IT.
Exactly. Anybody in IT would know what TeamViewer is.
Dave, TeamViewer is about as exciting as Petronas is an IT product.
Yeah, basically.
It's
all
no
clear
Red
now.
Bull.
Isn't this all just a tax write-off anyway?
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
And so they can put a picture of an F1 car on their business card.
Yep.
That's right.
You know what, e-scooter? I guarantee you there's a mid-ranking executive at Petronas who's got a picture of him and Lewis Hamilton standing awkwardly next to him. And every time people come to his office, he's like, "Hey guys, see that? That's me and Lewis. Where'd you meet him?"
And George.
I think it was at a conference that he was forced to go to, and he had to say, "My name's Lewis Hamilton, and I drive for Petronas." And everyone went wild, and he signed a couple of hats.
Because we give the team $50 million a year.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
we own him for four corporate weekends a year.
If you go to the Petronas website, it's all leafy plants and turtles, even though
The one that Lewis
drill
loves
for oil.
Because Lewis changed
Lewis
it.
is the web designer. He's gone in there and gone, "Guys, you need more photos of turtles and leaves."
They're like, shit, Lewis found out that we make oil products. Change the website so when he looks it up, it's all
That's some
Tell them
quality.
it's plant-based.
It's all quality greenwashing right there. It's like, look at us. Look at us doing the right thing while we pollute the earth with oil, petrol.
Does Shell sponsor anyone? Speaking of massive oil companies.
Yeah, I think they
Ferrari.
still do Ferrari.
Yeah.
Oh, they still sponsor Ferrari. That's right.
Yeah.
Sponsorship does not work on you, does it, Matt?
Nah. Wasted on me.
It's
You
wasted.
know, the only reason I know about the Android sponsorship, Dave, is because I saw a thing on YouTube where they basically showed that the McLaren teams have e-ink on the side of their cars, and they can change the ads.
How does that work?
So basically, it's not to get too technical, but basically it's a black and white screen, and they either turn on a pixel or turn off a pixel, and because you've turned it on or off, you don't need to run power to it again. So basically, you can do an image, very little power, set it. It's like how e-readers, like a Kindle works. You know how they don't really use power? It's basically one of those screens.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
So it is like a normal kind of screen.
Yeah. It's a very low powered screen. So basically, for like 3 laps, you can say Google, and then another 3 laps, you can say Android.
How much does this cost?
And then when you win, I guess you can write Patronus, LOL, and then change it back.
So you can change. It's not like it's a preset thing at the
No.
start.
You can have.
Can we get a crowdfunding going to get sponsorship on there for backseat drivers?
Yeah.
Can everyone chip in 30 grand each?
The way McLaren's going, by the end of the year, we could probably buy that space a lot cheaper.
We could probably buy McLaren. I reckon
their rate card will be going.
How much is it going to cost to get a photo of Matt's face on the nose cone of McLaren?
Wearing an Aston Martin hat.
I was going to say, how's Matt's Aston Martin going in the driveway with the sponsorship working for him?
Yeah,
Rob, it's quite delightful. I'm now, like I said before, I'm all aboard the Aston Martin train, toot.
I'd have to admit, though, like I was actually really excited during that race watching Alonso come through.
That was a great race.
Yeah. Like it actually added a lot of excitement to the race, I think. That would have otherwise, you take Alonso out of that and
it's a boring race.
Yeah.
I think Alonso is what I kind of feel, I mean, conspiracy, but I kind of feel that the Drive to Survive people have gone to the F1 and gone, look, it's getting boring. People are bored. We need a new hero because Max has now just become an intolerable prick because he's now won 2 in a row and no one likes him anymore. We need an old favourite back.
And he's come back.
Because Alonso didn't have Drive to Survive when he won, Dave.
No.
This is his chance.
Drive to Survive people wouldn't understand how good Alonso was back in
No way.
the early mid-2000s.
45 years ago when he first was in there.
You go on Wikipedia and then you copy that race into YouTube and then you watch the YouTube race. And then 4 hours later, you're like, why is it midnight? and then you go, no regrets, and then you fall asleep.
Why is everything dark outside?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where'd the sun go?
Oh, for sure.
It's never happened before.
Not much.
So do we think Alonso has it and often to have the ability to keep going this season?
I hope so. I've got $10
good.
on them to win the championship.
And how much does that pay out, Rob?
It pays out nothing.
What was top 3 paying?
Top 3, I reckon.
Not much.
Because George has already given up. Didn't he already say that Red Bull have already won?
Yeah, basically.
Typical Mercedes, though.
But normally you'd think that's mind games, but I don't think George is smart enough to play mind games like that. I think he's just given up.
Oh no, he's been taught well by the Mercedes.
Of course he has.
Yeah, but he doesn't say it as convincingly like when Toto or Lewis used to say it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Toto always says it. He even said it like in between when he was winning, 7 in a row. He's like, nah, we're not very good. You know, excuse me, but you just won. He goes, yeah, but we were very lucky. We had the underpowered car. Lewis
He's
had a
learned from the
cold.
master.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't know if you know this, guys, but Lewis is blind in like 1.5 eyes. I don't even know how he got around the racetrack. He broke his shin. His little fingers snapped off, but he still did it because he's a true champion. Now I need to go check out what Christian's doing because I'm sure he's up to no good. Little man. No, he wasn't convincing, but he seemed to think that he was. And that they told themselves that, so they were happy with it.
Yep.
And I feel like Red Bull have turned into the new
Mercedes.
Empire. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what they become now.
They looked really strong. Like, especially the race.
Dave, why did the Mexican Minister of Defense say it was 3 Red Bulls on the podium?
Because they've joked about, because Dan Fellows used to work for Red Bull, who's gone to Aston. And they're saying that the Aston's essentially copied.
Yeah, but if you look
Red
at them
Bull.
side by side, they look completely different. Like the front wings completely different.
Yeah,
the
one's
sides
green and one's blue.
Exactly.
That sounds like something I'd say, Dave.
One has wings and... Actually, hang on.
Dave,
What's that on your
using
hat?
that logic, they've both got 4 wheels and a steering wheel, so...
Hey, Matt, if you look at your hat, you'll notice that the Aston Martin also has wings.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like it's the Illuminati conspiracy right there.
Yep.
Dave, we need to look into this. Now I'm going to go down a conspiracy rabbit hole tonight, and I won't go to bed till 3 in the morning.
Oh boy.
Because I have Mark Webber's Monaco win to watch tonight. Because I'm an idiot and I don't know any better.
That was a good day. I
have too many things in Google Watch Later, and then I look at it and go, could I watch them now? No, Matt, it's midnight.
You need to go to sleep.
What the key is you watch them in double speed, so then you can add twice as much to your Google Watch list.
Dave, I've got my appalling F1 joke. You could watch last week's F1 race in double speed, and McLaren still wouldn't be at normal speed. Yay!
That joke there.
That's my one great joke for the night. I'm done.
Have we fallen off the rails early this week?
Yep.
We're still talking F1. It's just bad F1 jokes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good.
That was Matt's F1 joke of the night.
Do the F2 discussion and
give
do a bit of IndyCar before it actually goes off the rails?
Yeah, let's get some F2. Let's talk F2 and IndyCar, and then we can go off the rails even further.
So we need a movie splash screen.
Yeah,
movie splash screen.
And full screen
on the screen.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Movies F2 report. Okay.
You got it wrong. There
I am.
I couldn't do it quick enough.
Okay, Movies F2 report for this week, the review of the Bahrain F2 GP. Well, I couldn't see practice because KO is one of those that it didn't actually stream the I couldn't see the replay of the qualifying. Not qualifying, free practice, but I can go to qualifying. In qualifying, we have Pocher gapping the field basically by 0.7 seconds. 0.751 seconds compared to his teammate Martins, and then third was Verschuel in the van, whatever the team is. I can't remember what it was. So yeah, so basically push. That's the one. Thank you.
And I didn't even watch it.
Oh, I don't know. I'm still learning the teams. Okay, we'll go.
Wolvie can't fact check and watch F2 at the same time, Dave.
Yeah, Doohan unfortunately I had to follow the one Aussie we have. We still got an F2. Doohan qualified in a poorly 17th. So yeah. So with the sprint race, the first one, which I'm learning all the time, they actually reversed the grid order for the sprint from 1 to 10. They reversed the order, so there's a brand new there's a different order for the sprint race. So in the sprint race, it's actually pretty good. Boshing won that. He did pretty good. Hoga finished second, and Martins finished third in that race, he did pretty well considering the tyre degradation at Bahrain and the way the cars were completely catching up and that. Doohan again, not so good. Finished 11th in that race. Then we got the feature race on on Sunday. That was actually pretty good. A lot of midfield overtaking for sure. Rob seems to be chilling out. You don't want to listen. This has got to be pre-recorded. I know this has got to be pre-recorded. I know I should be doing it that way. So yeah, first lap chaos, safety car straight up for an accident. The guys that went out on the soft tires at the start compared to the guys that are on the hard compound, there was a real big difference there in terms of tire deg. Those guys had to pit a lot earlier compared to the hard tire guys, and because of that, it really mixed up the order. But Prochet again, basically, he was out front all the time, and nobody could actually catch him. It was right at the end that midfield battle really got heated up. Like the amount of overtaking, tires, flat spotting, people trying to overtake each other was actually good. One of the great things of the F2 race right just before the end, and safe to say, Prochet basically absolutely destroyed him again. 19 seconds over Boshing, who finished second, 11 seconds, and then he was 11 seconds ahead of Maloney, which I found his race right at the end as he was pulling up at the grid spots for the podium. He went, "Yay, I did all right. I finished third." And then his race engineer comes over the radio and says, "Yeah, if you actually qualified properly, you probably could have won it." So that was a bit of a slap in the face comment to him, but I can understand the kid's still young. He did brilliant, and plus the kid's from Barbados as well, Maloney, but surprisingly a white guy. We'll go from
racist.
There. I'm not racist. I'm just thinking. Okay,
we really need those t-shirts now.
Yeah, we're being cancelled 3 episodes in.
Oh no.
Okay, so
was there any particular reason Doohan was so far off the pace?
He just didn't look. Watching it, I don't know. It just his teammate did all right, but it's just Doohan just looked like he was just off the. He wasn't race. I don't know. Just couldn't figure out what was going on.
Usually, he's one of the best qualifiers there are, and I don't know why.
For some reason, it didn't. For some reason, this time, go.
He was trying to qualify in between, like in the gap between the other cars coming out.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I don't think he actually had a final run. Like I don't think
he
enough
didn't.
time to get out again.
No, he couldn't get out again. He got right out. I think there wasn't just enough time. So it's just he tried a different strategy. It didn't work because the track basically rubbed it up a lot better for the guys that went out later, and they just absolutely destroyed him.
Yeah. But he was worse in the feature race as well. Just going off the results.
He was up to 6 at one point, but I think his tire deg was too high and just slipped back.
No, a lot of people had getting to the end, very bad tire deg. Shit, they ran was just nuts.
I think they were just trying a few different things and just that didn't work.
No, maybe next race at Jeddah. Who knows?
Yeah.
See what happens there.
So I haven't watched this for a few years, so I've got to. I'll be doing some Matt questions during the year.
Go for it.
So the sprint race sets the grid for the feature race, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't.
No. So they after qualifying, the top 10 get reversed for the sprint race.
Yep.
And then future race is where they qualified. So they qualified first. They're on pole.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they've mixed it up that way.
Okay.
You just mix it up for the sprints and make it a bit interesting.
And it does make it interesting.
But there's no pit stop in the sprint race, is there?
No.
It's only
although there have been there's a compulsory pit stop in the feature race, but in the sprint race.
Yeah.
But on the sprint race, if you need to pit there has been some cases where a guy has pitted and won still.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But they only get 3 sets of tyres for the weekend or something,
I think
don't
it was
they?
4 or something. I think they get like 4 sets.
Oh, okay. So you could do 2 sets in the sprint and then 2 sets in the feature.
Basically. But also you got to qualify. But the thing is, you have to qualify on those sets as well.
Yeah.
So you get 4 sets for the whole weekend.
Yeah, but you've only put a qualifying run through.
Yeah, and feature race, they have to use softs and hards.
Yep.
Yep.
Which makes it interesting because sometimes they'll start off on the softs, get out decent lead, and then they'll lose it in the second half.
Yeah, once the teams once the guys with the lighter fuel load and that jump onto the softs, they're just absolutely flying past them.
Yeah.
With the reduced fuel load.
Is it the knockout qualifying or is it just
30 minutes?
Okay.
30 minutes, 30 minutes, all out qualifying. You do your best time, you get pole, that's it. Although surprisingly, what I did notice, because actually sitting down properly watching a race, they actually sound better than the F1s.
Yeah, they do.
They actually sound better than the F1s. 3.6 litre turbocharged engine. 3.4 litre Mega Chrome engine. It's a V6, 620 horsepower, and they shoot flames.
Yeah.
So when they're downshifting, they actually shoot flames out of the back. It looks awesome. It actually looks really awesome.
They are very unreliable.
The engines?
Yeah.
No, actually, they're surprisingly good.
Well, this last race was all right, but generally they seem to fail a lot.
Maybe they've done some engine. Maybe the engine supply's actually done some development during the off season to make it more reliable.
So I think last year Porsche had a bad year, just mainly because of engine failures.
He did finish second. Didn't he finish second in the championship still?
I think so. Yeah.
Yes.
Because he was behind.
It was a long. Dragovic was actually a long way ahead in the championship.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he absolutely destroyed it.
Yeah.
But this year, I reckon Porsches are going to absolutely destroy everybody else now in the field.
He was on a different level.
Oh yeah, nuts.
In the feature race, he was just even in the sprint race when his tires were good. He was
absolutely destroying
everyone.
Yeah. I reckon he went a little bit too hard too early on that race, but doesn't matter. So. He still finished 5th.
Yeah.
So it was actually pretty good on that. So with the standings, you got Porsche on 32 points. He's of course first because he won the feature race. Bosching is second on 28 points. Maloney is third on 15 points. Maney's fourth on 14, and then it just keeps going down to the top 5's more than enough. And on the team's campus, is currently ahead on 42 points. RGP is on 38, and Rodin Carlin is third on 18, and Dams is on 17 points. So that's basically top 4 in the team's championship. And that is the Bovie F2 review for Bahrain. Next week I'll do the Saudi review. Preview, sorry.
Preview. Beautiful.
Yep.
Do we have the that title screen again? Because that music and your voice, Dave, it's
Oh yeah, that's awesome. I love that.
We'll have that each week.
Yep.
So
I've got to say,
you'll get yours again soon, Matt.
Oh yeah.
It was interesting watching both Formula 2 and the Indy NXT, which is the pretty much the F2 for IndyCar. Just the difference in them, difference how they drive them. But I think this year in Indy NXT was the biggest field they've had in 6 years or 5 years or something.
How many cars were?
How many cars were? That's what I was going to ask. How many cars were there?
26, I think, from memory.
Wow.
Oh wow,
that's a big jump. Because what was it? There was only like 8 or something when Herder and Pato were going for the championship.
Yeah, there wasn't many.
Yeah, because that's why they didn't get any super license points.
But I think,
how many was it? 8.
Yeah, I think they only had 8 cars in the championship. But the field was quite stacked because you had Herder and O'Ward that basically went into IndyCar and were race winners in their first year.
Sorry, 19.
That's still good stuff.
Okay.
That's still a lot of
a good jump considering.
Yeah, and that HMD Motorsports has 6 cars.
Oh wow!
And I think they're going to
how many?
expand it next year.
Andretti's got about 6
They
as
got
well, don't they?
5?
What about
Yeah.
Ganassi?
4, sorry. 4. No,
Ganassi doesn't run.
Don't they run
Yeah.
in XT? Okay.
No.
Okay.
Jamie Chadwick didn't have a good run.
Hmm.
Got
Well,
she had a car crash in front of her and slammed on the back of him, and
ooh,
she had a couple of little incidents. So she ended up having someone else's nose cone on the car. She went through too many nose cones,
oh wow!
but managed to keep getting. She managed to finish the race, which was good. But
Did you get
yeah.
points or?
No, she was
Okay.
like, yeah,
Oh come on! You got to
Yeah,
give her a chance. She's a rookie in the Kent Championship.
yeah. Well, there's 8 rookies.
Oh wow! Okay, that's good.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
Yeah, and it was a good race. Like there was one guy who was out in the front most of it. He lost his position near the end on a restart, and then I think who was in front then, a rookie, an English guy, Lewis Foster. He got out in front. He looked like he was going to take it and got a flat.
Oh jeez.
Yeah.
Although technically the IndyCar race had a lot of action in that one. I like that.
Yeah. Well, this was almost like a mini version of that. There was so many,
Oh really?
so many yellow flags, and there was a lot of crashes.
Were there actually cars flying over other cars or not?
No, unfortunately. No.
We'll only watch the cars that fly now.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly. So F1's covered that with Alonso, and
Should we move on to IndyCar and
yeah, let's
Yeah.
I watched that race
Go.
too. I actually
Go.
watched that race as well. That was a
the
great
roller
race.
coaster of a race?
Oh yeah. How many
Why-
yellows were there in that race?
Something like 30% of the race was under yellow. Or something.
Yeah, but I
Holy crap.
think there was only like 4 or something, wasn't there?
Yeah.
It wasn't really that high. It's just the incidents were so
Big.
extreme. Yeah.
Actually, no, that's a good way to describe it. Extreme.
Yeah, it wasn't like you had, one car broke down and then they had a yellow flag to retrieve a broken down car. It
No.
was 15 cars plowed into each other. One went launching over the top.
And that was on lap
Fast and
1.
Furious style. And yeah. Like,
If you could show the background, you've got like if you could show the background, if you can make us all small somehow, Dave. At least people can see what we're talking about.
too bad you can't hear us talking when I remove everyone from the stream.
That's all right. It was a good, no, but at least you could show everybody what happened. Like that picture represents exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a pretty extreme start to the race. And then we had a round 2 of it a bit later on.
Yep.
Yeah. But even like as sucky as it was having McLaughlin go out,
Yeah, with Grosjean.
like that was it's hard, that one, but it was like 2 guys just desperately wanting to win the race.
Oh yeah, and that's just a racing incident.
The after race interviews were interesting to watch. McLaughlin and Pato. Like Pato Award he looked like he was going to go kill someone.
Yeah, I didn't see the interviews, but sorry.
I was going to say, are they more unhinged in Indy and F2? Because F1, even if you don't like them, you still just have to say it was a challenging race, and Rob really put up a good fight. Even though Rob's, behind me.
They do say a bit more, I think.
Yeah.
I think they're not as polished.
Yeah.
They do show their emotions a lot more.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Pato Award looked like he was just about to start crying because he had a plenum fire, I think, in the engine. Which made him lose his first position. Yeah, lose the lead with a couple of laps to go.
I'd actually forgotten that Ericsson won the race.
I'm not a fan of Ericsson. He's a nice guy, but I
don't cheer for him or anything. But I was actually talking to someone, and then they were like, "Who won?" I'm like, "Wait a second! I really had to think about it, because you're like, Grosjean was leading at the start, then McLaughlin got the lead, and then they crashed into each other, and then Pato was leading, and then you're like, wait a second, Pato didn't win. Who was it that he broke down? Ericsson.
Ericsson winning was like the least memorable part of the whole race.
Which is a bit of the problem with Ericsson.
Yeah.
Even I was like the Indy 500. a few times. You kind of go through and you're like, oh, yeah, Sato won and Power and da, da, da.
Yeah.
And you're like, who won it last year?
Yeah.
And
Ericsson.
oh yeah, it was Ericsson.
I really think they should just push Cashman Evers to the front, let him win for the 5th time.
Nah, fuck him.
Nah.
I want to see him win. I want to see Helio win for a 5th time because he'll be the only person who's ever done it.
Well, that would be a nice thing to
Yeah.
see him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and seeing something like that in IndyCar of like the 100 and I got it. How many years
Is it getting
it's been
close to
going?
120 yet?
Must be close.
Nah,
Was
it's
100?
not. Because
I'll fact check
didn't
it.
Rossi win the 100th? Because of the wars and that, I think we missed a few years
yeah,
in there.
Okay,
Yeah,
this year is 107.
yeah.
there we go.
It's
So let's say-
100.
So it's better to see someone win 5 Indy
I'd
500s
like to
in their lifetime.
I'd like to see Takuma in that Ganassi car just go and smash the field. Just absolutely destroy everyone. Because he's normally pretty good at Indy.
Yeah,
And if Ganassi has the advantage they had last year,
Oh, jeez.
he's just going to be on another level.
I'm actually disappointed. I didn't realize that Jimmy Johnson wasn't racing this year. Not even
No,
the Oval.
He's packed it in and gone back to NASCAR.
Yeah, I thought he
But
would
it
have.
doesn't even look like he'll be doing Indy.
No,
Okay.
yeah, he's not on the lineup anyway. But yeah, I'm disappointed. I was hoping he'd do the 500.
Oh, don't worry, we've got Stingray. What was the kid's name? Stingray.
Stingray Rob.
Stingray Rob, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, who really didn't. He was
much.
there.
Yeah, because he crashed out in the first body.
Yeah, that didn't
yeah.
help.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
he got
exactly.
back.
Canapino was reasonable.
Yeah, he did all right. From what I heard, he was struggling to get his tires up to temple the whole way.
Yeah, but he didn't. Like when the signing was announced, you're like, well, this is going to be a dumpster fire. But he didn't disgrace himself.
No,
But
well,
He did. Like we've had a lot worse in IndyCar over the years.
But he's touring car background and done a lot in touring cars. What's the difference
Yeah, but
between
it's
him
not-
and Scott McLaughlin?
I think Supercars is probably rated a little bit higher than what was it, Argentinian stock cars or whatever.
Yeah.
And McLaughlin's still in a younger age group. And
Yeah.
McLaughlin was going into a Penske car.
Yeah. Yeah. McLaughlin went into top shelf.
Yeah. There's a few things to help him along the way.
Yeah.
Yep.
Plus, McLaughlin wasn't an additional car at Penske, was he?
no, he took
I
over
think
somebody, didn't he?
He took over Helio's
Yeah.
car, didn't he? Whereas Canapino's is an added car to the smallest team in the field.
Yep.
It's It's not.
Didn't both the drivers get points for Catapino?
Because he came
Um,
13th.
well, he would have got points if he was that high up.
Yeah, maybe. Hang on.
I'll let you fact check this.
I was. Petersburg. It would have been quicker for me to go to the website than.
Yeah, exactly. He would have been quicker. Just go to IndyCar. Matt's been very quiet for the last 10 minutes because we managed to shut him up.
Wikipedia.
It's just
Matt
building.
started
He's
being
building up.
patient.
He's building up for his section.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
My
Canapino
amazing
was
question.
13th.
Yeah,
That's all right. Is that points?
Hmm.
yeah.
How far does IndyCar go down for points? You got to remind me of these things.
Have they changed the system?
It goes all the way to 27.
Yeah.
By this.
Points? Wow.
I thought it was only the top 15.
Yeah. Yeah, because even the Benjamin Peterson who went out, one of the first guys, he's got 5 points.
Interesting.
Unless there was bonus points for anything, I don't know. Gets
You
5
get
points for
bonus point for leading a lap and bonus point for
Well-
fastest lap, I think.
crashing.
Really? Jeez.
Oh, it's led.
Most laps. Most laps.
Pole gets 1 point.
Mhm.
Led a race lap gets 1 point. Led most race laps gets 2 points.
Yeah. So.
So even under a safety car, say if you didn't go in,
Yeah,
you would
so
get
Scott,
1 point.
Scotty McLaughlin got points
McLaughlin.
because he had 38 laps.
Does he,
Yeah.
he
Compared to
doesn't get 30.
Grosjean, 31.
Okay. So Scotty got 2 points for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause, yeah, he's on something.
19 for finishing
20.
11th.
Yeah, so he's got 20 points.
Oh, 20 points, yeah. I'm
He-
reading the wrong.
He finished 13th.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So,
That was a good race.
Yeah.
It was a great race. I love
Yeah.
that race. So where they racing next?
They are
Texas.
off to Texas Oval.
Oh, nice. Oval
Yeah.
race. Is that a high-speed oval or
Yes.
It is too. Yeah, it's a big one.
super? So it's a super. Was that super
Yeah,
speedway?
super speedway.
yeah,
Yeah,
Oh,
2 mile, I think. But
Yeah,
it's
that's huge.
fairly high banking.
yeah. That was it was the track that they couldn't race many years ago because the banking was too steep, and they were
steep?
sustaining like 5+ Gs around the whole course. And
Oh, gee.
Passing out.
Is that the reason why they had to put the limiter thing on there or whatever it was?
no, I think
Or was that Indy?
they end up cancelling the race. I think, and I think
Yeah.
they've reprofiled the track since then and
Okay.
made it less
The
steep.
I remember one of them they
Cars
had
are
to
different
actually.
though as well.
Yeah,
What is it? I remember for one of. I'm not sure if it was the IndyCar or NASCAR. They actually had to put a limiter on there to stop the top speed from going too high.
Yeah.
I can't remember which series it was, but they actually had to almost like put a air brake or something to stop them going past 200 plus miles an hour.
I think
can't
that
remember if it
was
was the IndyCar.
NASCAR.
Oh,
Yeah, I
it was
think that was
NASCAR.
NASCAR because I know IndyCar at Texas, when it was kart, they actually cancelled that race
Yeah.
weekend because drivers were getting vertigo and that.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
Whereas now these Indy cars are designed to be slower at things
Okay,
like that.
fair
Like,
enough.
yeah, you won't run the ultra low downforce setup in
Hmm.
Texas. Yeah.
No, that's all right.
yeah,
It's good.
yeah.
So,
Looking
So-
forward.
We
let Matt loose?
That's still a month away.
Yeah. Off the rails, Matt time.
Yeah, sounds good.
yeah.
I have some questions.
All right,
All right.
let's do the splash screen first, and then
Yeah,
it's time for Matt to take the discussion off the rails.
I do like that. I
know.
do like that start there. So my first question, Dave, is somewhat sensible. The second one, absolutely ridiculous, but I've thought about it. So in my Wikipedia adventures, I've been reading up a lot of F1 stuff because you open up multiple tabs. So the Triple Crown of Motorsport, I had a look, and I've seen that
Fernando
my
Alonso's made up thing.
Yeah. So basically, I have seen that my second favorite driver, but behind Stroll Jr., only needs to win the Indianapolis 500. What is the chances that Papa Stroll lets him take a sabbatical and go for a race?
Already tried.
he's done it before, hasn't he?
Yeah,
He's tried it before.
but that was when McLaren was no good.
Okay, but
Yeah, now he's in a
Aston
good car.
Martin. No,
Yeah.
I don't think they'll let him. I don't think they'll actually let him out because it's going to be the same weekend as Monaco, isn't it? Usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think if he's got a fairly competitive Aston Martin at the moment, he's not going to be interested. It was more that he knew that the McLaren was the McLaren, what they are now, and what was the point?
Ah.
Yeah. So I think he might have now missed the boat on that.
Yeah.
So you reckon that's done?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because he'll be in F1 for another couple of years.
Yeah.
And then it'll just get harder each year for him to then go to IndyCar and do that.
Will he be in F1 as longer than Lewis will be? Like, who's retiring first?
Lewis has still got a long time to catch Alonso.
Yeah, Lewis is still in his late.
But is Lewis sticking around? Because it sounds like now that the car's not very competitive, he's like, I'm taking my toys and I'm going home.
Well, someone said that he was going to. He said he will stick around until he wins his 8th.
So
that could be a while.
Will he be lining up next to Alonso in Aston Martin next year?
Well, yeah.
Maybe he should get a drive with Red Bull. How good would that be, though? Max and Lewis in identical
That would be a
cars.
shit storm.
Oh, definitely would.
And
Warner would have
love
to
it.
put out 5. Oh, yeah. ETS would absolutely love it.
That would be
ATS
the
would
best
absolutely love it.
special season of Drive to Survive. It would just be called Max and Lewis Drive to Kill Each Other.
You should have got Matt to do the singing on the splash screens.
Red Bull Mercedes.
I can record stuff for you, Dave.
Yeah. Do you think, though, that either of them would want that situation?
Probably not.
I think deep down it would help them win, but they both know that they would literally run each other off first corner if they locked out the front grid. Because Max would just drive his line. Lewis would be, well, I'm obviously the number one driver, and they both tell each other that they're number one. And I can tell numerous times that Lewis would accidentally ring Toto to get him to back him and forget what team he's on. And he would still call it the Mercedes team and get in trouble for not calling it the Petronas.
The Red Bull. Yep.
Because the little man that got a signed picture by him would be mad that they spent $50 million for him to forget the name again.
The Red Bull Petronas AMG Mercedes Ford car.
Force India at the back. Just a little bit at the back.
Jet Force India. Remember, Jet Force India.
Yep. So Lewis is sticking around for a while and just going to be disappointed for the next 5 years.
Basically. Oh, you never know.
Yeah. They could bounce back.
Depending on where they finish.
Could.
They could, Dave, but it sounds like they're going to have to do a lot of catering to get back up to Red Bull levels.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't have full confidence in them being able to bounce back. I feel like
they're going to fall down to number 4.
Well, there is the potential of that this year.
I reckon they're not going to even be
Vasseur
in the podium.
can genuinely keep Ferrari on track and keep them headed in the right direction. I still don't think getting rid of Binotto was the right call. No. But Vasseur could well likely keep them going in the right direction. Aston Martin they're obviously in the right direction, and they've made the right hires to bring that all back on track. Whereas Mercedes is probably they've ridden on the coattails of being that far in front because of the power unit for so long.
Yeah.
They've lost their way a bit now with the rule change, and you've lost the people that originally set that 2014 car up that then carried all the way through. So you haven't got those, you haven't got an Adrian Newey in there that will look at it and go, hey, this, and this needs to be fixed.
Because
I don't think you haven't got that Ross Brawn coming in and going, this is an issue, we should be doing this to fix it or whatever, like what happened back in 2013 or whatever it was, and why they become such a force.
So what you're saying, Dave, is they've rested on their laurels.
Okay.
Well, I think there probably has been a bit of that, and they could be casual about it because they were that far in front.
Mm-hmm.
And
but now it
probably
all the
all of the hype about we're not testing very well, it's a real struggle, or this was against us or whatever, that they weren't so much we should be when Ferrari was doing all of their winning, they were, we only won by 50 seconds, we need to win by a minute next time. And then, all right, we won by a minute, we need to win by 70 seconds next time
But that
out.
was Schumacher pushing all that.
Yeah. But you had the people there, though, that would push that.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Whereas
But the problem is Mercedes have lost all that to other teams.
And that's, you haven't, I don't know if you've got that kind of the driving force that's really there to push it along. I could be wrong, but I just don't.
No, I think they're probably going to drop down to be they're going to start fighting Alpine and,
What, Willie? I'm just looking at it now.
Not Williams.
They're third in the constructors at the moment.
Yeah, they're third for now, but I reckon they're going to drop. And speaking of more Aston Martin stuff, have you seen the new track car that they test drove? The
Valkyrie.
The Valkyrie track edition one.
I think I saw a photo of it. It looked interesting.
Basically, it's a supposedly it's a street legal rocket, and Top Gear's only good presenter got to drive it, and basically it scared the crap out of him.
That's Mr. Harris.
Yeah,
Dave.
Okay.
Well, obviously, he's the only good one left.
He's the only good one left.
One of them is a bat and ball player, which I don't mind, but he's not a race car driver, and the other one's just a laughing idiot who.
Hammond, Clarkson, May, not race car drivers,
but they were a lot better.
That's perfectly fine. You don't have to be a race car driver to be a good Top Gear host.
No.
Yeah.
But you have to know about cars and have a personality.
Yeah, but like Rob said, they had a motoring background.
Yeah.
But you also
you
need the personality too.
Yeah.
Because that was the problem with the Australian Top Gear.
No one.
They had the motoring background, didn't have personality.
Wasn't one of them Kenny?
Yeah, one of them was Kenny.
Kenny was all right.
Kenny was okay. It was the other two.
They had the saxophone player.
Yeah, he was a car guy though.
James Morrison.
Yeah, James Morrison.
And then they had that. Who was the shorter guy? Steve something.
Oh,
Steve, he was a
motoring or something.
No,
wasn't he a motoring rider?
No, I think he was he was something like that. It was either motoring rider or something. Yeah.
So they should have got people like Eric Banner.
You can't afford Eric Banner. He was doing the Hulk.
Yeah.
He's not doing anything.
He was on Hulk money, Rob. You can't afford him. That's like getting, Dan Ricciardo to race for your little house team, and then.
But now he's the Hulkenberg of movies. He just does like bit parts now and then.
He's made his money.
He's made his money.
I reckon if he got offered a Top Gear Australia spot, he probably would have taken it.
Oh, now he would if they ever tried to revitalize it.
Well, now he needs to work.
But yeah, they could have got him. Could have got that guy who does the was some question show on TV who used to race as well.
Oh, the question show. You know the question show?
No, I don't watch.
Question show with Car
Guy.
Who wants to be a millionaire?
No, not him.
Jeremy
Eddie
Clarkson.
Maguire.
No, not Eddie.
Doesn't Clarkson do?
Oh, Grant
He
Dyer.
wants to be a millionaire.
No, he got kicked off. Didn't he get booted?
No, he didn't. He's still doing it. Grant Dyer, you mean?
Grant Dyer, yeah.
Grant Dyer used to race.
Yeah, Grant Dyer.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't he end up in hospital?
Grant
Grant
Denyer.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's the one. We got there in the end.
Could have got him.
Did he actually have a bit of a issue? Or
No.
Is that just rumors?
That was rumors.
No, but
maybe after the accident. Yeah,
he broke his back, but didn't he have a bit of a?
Maybe. Well, probably it's on TV.
Yeah.
I just assume everyone who on TV does.
Because he also, he disappeared from car driving for a while.
Yeah, that's because he had a massive crash and ended up in a coma, didn't he?
Yeah, basically.
No, broke his back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the big rally. Yeah.
For sure.
All right, Dave, this is my my final question, hypothetical for the night. Here's how it works, right? Using all the team principals and current drivers, you need to pick a combination of piggyback riders to have a race at Albert Park. But before you do the obvious answer of having Yuki on your back, You got to remember, he's not a good choice because he will whinge the entire time you go around. So what you need to do is tell me the perfect combination of large. You can have a principal or a driver carry another driver or principal.
I reckon Toto's pretty fit.
Toto's a big. I was thinking Toto.
And he could carry someone.
Nick DeVries, because he's the other tiny person. Nick DeVries, he's tiny.
I was thinking Norris, but yeah, DeVries is smaller, isn't he?
Yeah, but who's going to carry Norris?
But also Toto.
Toto.
No, it's got to be from the same team.
Oh, so they have to be Zach.
Yeah.
But Zach's fat and slow.
That's what I mean.
So it'd be Toto carrying George.
No, I reckon it'd be Toto. No, is that Lewis shorter?
I think.
Yeah, he is.
George
is pretty big.
Isn't he?
Slighter though. Like Lewis is actually.
He's built.
Like he's not. He's like he is actually quite.
He's got muscle on him.
What about,
whereas George is quite slim.
Alonso carrying Papa Stroll because he's already carrying the team. Why doesn't he just carry the little idiot? That's 2 jokes tonight. Yes.
Was that just a setup to get to that?
No, I just thought of the name. It's just a happy coincidence.
I don't know what's better, you thinking of that on the spot, or whether if you'd put in all that work to get to that point.
Why would I put that much effort into?
We've got some weight and heights here. George Russell, 70 kilos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is last year, unfortunately. The GOAT was 73 kilos.
Well, no, he's too heavy to carry.
And was the same height as George Russell at 1.85 meters.
Do you reckon one of the rookies would have to carry more senior driver just as a...
Yeah. Yuki's 54 kilos.
He's pretty big, isn't he?
Who?
He's got a big chin,
Logan.
so there's got to be a couple of kilos there.
Logan Sargent.
Yeah.
Logan Sargent could carry his mate, couldn't he? Who's his...
Let's see if we got some weights for
Albon.
him. 71 kilos, Sergeant.
How much does Albon weigh?
Albon's pretty tall, I think.
Is he?
Yeah, he's tall. He's one of the tallest. Albon,
I reckon Logan could carry.
74
How
kilos.
heavy is there?
Yeah. Well, see, last year, Nick DeVries was in the room with, or always like on the side of Toto, wearing exactly the same what Toto wore. It was like a mini-me situation.
Except he was like this.
But he always had Toto would have his jumper off with it over his shoulder, and Nick would be like the exact same thing, jumper over his shoulder tied up.
You smash your headphones now.
Pulls off his tiny little pair of headphones to smash. Look at me, Dad, I'm the same.
I reckon Toto could carry most people, to be honest.
Yeah. He's
I reckon the only one
Could he carry Zach Brown?
No one's carrying Zach Brown.
Vasseurs not that small, I don't think.
Could he carry Mr. Ginger Spice?
Williams, Dave, and Toro Rosso. I can't even. I don't think they're even famous enough to be on Drive to Survive.
Well, Williams is now James Fowles.
So Bono's there.
He was from Mercedes, wasn't he?
Yep.
He was.
Yeah.
Could we get Toto and Horner in a 3-leg race with legs tied together?
Oh, that'd be the best.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know they would deliberately go the wrong way?
Just go,
Yeah, they would. If you had to go straight, one would go left and one would go right, and blame the other one for not following the team.
For sure.
What's that reality show where they travel around country and have to do
Amazing Race?
Amazing Race. Horner and Toto doing the Amazing Race together.
F1 edition.
Yeah. Just watching them two argue.
At the bottom, would it write F1 colleagues and then question mark and then /friends frenemies / question mark?
Yep.
And then they just cut to George and Norris going, secretly, I think they're both really good friends because we are. And then they hug.
You reckon they actually are friends?
Nah,
no.
I think once it's all done, they will become not mates, but they will chat later.
Yeah.
Like when there's certain other sports where they've spoken to old managers who would like yell at each other, accuse them all of cheating, and now they sit in the same room and talk about, said sport. I reckon Ginger Spice and Toto in about 10 years' time, it'll be like, remember that time I accused you of cheating? Like, shut up, Toto. You were just jealous of my Ginger Spice girl wife.
Do you reckon Toto's just pissed because he doesn't get invited to the Red Bull parties? Because
Probably.
Red Bull have the best parties.
Matt, apparently you've been warned.
I saw that.
Uh-oh.
I don't think that one was too bad.
Yeah, he said other sport. He didn't mention a sport name.
Still a warning.
Yeah.
I'm sending a Scooter an email just to let him know that I'm not happy.
You might as well go put a beanie on too.
No, I reckon in 10 years' time or so, they will have them on as special guests on Sky Sports. If they both haven't retired, I think they've sort of just got to a point where they can't like each other. Like they're not.
Not at the moment.
What about Toto's 80 years old and they've got him on This Is Your Life, and they start talking and they bring Horner.
You know what happened, Rob?
Fuck off.
They'd bring on Christian and he would flip a table. He would just get the table that's on the thing.
Boom.
Just pull.
And what?
Pull out a pair of headset.
Yeah, Rob. If I was Christian, I'd go up to him and go, "Hey, Toto, you remember in 2022, I cheated. I got away with it. Suck it."
Toto would just pull out a pair of headphones from his back pocket and smash.
You know what else I'd do, Rob? I'd go up to him real quiet on his deathbed and go, "There was no catering. I just flat out cheated because I hate you."
He spent. The catering was him down at the corner store buying a couple of dim sims and a Big M each morning.
And you know what? I reckon Zach's going to go up. Who's the Alpine boss?
Otmar.
Yeah, he'd be like,
I did not like Otmar.
I stole Oscar. Nothing you can do about it. I didn't even want him. I just didn't want you to have him.
Nice.
You know when you play like the F1 manager games, and you're like, you can take this player. I'm never going to use him. Just taking him just because I don't want anyone else to have him.
That was a hard position for Omar though, because he wasn't involved in all of the original contract fuck up. And then they're like, no, we've got him under contract, and he goes out to the world media or whatever. We've got him under contract, and then he'd be like, wait, what? I just fucking told everyone I'm going to look like a dickhead.
I just went on Elon Musk's social website and I told everyone I look like a dickhead now.
It'd be like, Gunter, we look like a bunch of fucking wankers.
Supposedly in I don't know if you've seen Drive to Survive, Dave, but yeah, supposedly there's a lot of footage of people telling Ricardo never to have trusted Zach. He's I think Zach's going to turn into, once Red Bull, I think, domination finishes, Zach will be that constant force of just complaining. I feel like he's next in line.
I do wonder though, like how much longer we've got, say, of Christian, Toto, Zach, kind of running these teams, because
they seem like they're too much in power hungry.
Yeah, but you had in the old days, Frank Williams ran the team forever because he owned it, whereas you've got a lot of these now that they don't actually own the team, so they can
Toto
move on. And
Toto own?
Toto owns part of it, but you'd Christian and Zach don't own Red Bull or McLaren shares at all. But do you because Christian was quite young when he started, so even though he's been doing it for quite a long period now, he could potentially, I'm not sure on his age, but I think he's late 40s, early 50s now. He could still potentially do that for another 15, 20 years.
20 years, yeah.
Yeah. Do we fact checked how old they actually are?
Yeah.
49.
the thing is, I think
Yeah,
Toto's
Toto's
not going
about-
to give up his team. He wouldn't. I think it's going to be like a cold war of giving up the team. I think when Toto does, it'll be a mutual decision that Christian gives up. Because I think they both need each other because it's good for the sport.
So like
they're-
Batman and Joker.
Joker.
Yeah.
Can I put my hand up?
both.
They're both within 2 years of each other. So Christian's
Yeah,
49
I reckon-
and Toto's 51.
I reckon if Toto went up to him and said, "Look, just quietly, I'm going to retire next year," Christian would probably retire too. Because you don't want to be like, the old, because they'll be the oldest there, right? Like, because let's be honest, Zach and all them will have been gone by then. They'll be the oldest and the longest serving. Because I reckon Zach's got at best 5 years if he doesn't do anything. They'll get rid of him.
Before he has a heart attack.
Well, he has a heart attack, or he finds out that let's be honest, he's not getting another tattoo of a race course on his arm anytime soon.
Exactly.
I think that's the greatest shit cannery Dan has ever done. Basically, he's walked away with $18 million, and Zach now has a permanent mark on his arm to let him know I fucked you over and I won. I'm the winner in all of this. Because you know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to use my GoPro money and ride a motorbike and just jump over a log.
So if I was Max, I would have done the same bet with Horner about getting the tattoo, but have that picture of the kid pissing on a Mercedes logo.
You'd have to get a sleeve, Rob, of just every track.
Wait a second. Question from me. The last few years, I think it goes back to about 2017. The person that's won the first race of the season has finished second in the championship. Max has won the first race. Do you think he will finish second in the championship now?
I hope so.
A long chance.
I actually had a look. I actually have a bet on Alpine winning the championship.
Alpine. How much money did you put on that?
You lost
$5
$10 last year for putting money on Nicholas, Mr. Nutella.
Yeah.
Something tells me, Rob, you have a gambling problem and you make terrible, terrible decisions.
This is why I don't generally gamble.
Do you secretly work for Ferrari?
He may be. I think he does, considering the bets he makes.
Yes. There's a good reason why I generally don't do any bets, because I really
I like checking the bets, and then afterwards when I get them wrong, I'm like, well, that saved me $10 because I clearly know nothing about F1.
But Rob could win thousands of dollars if this comes off.
Exactly. See, the only reason I do them, I do outside bets just in case. One day one's going to pay off.
I know. You're like people I know that do 19-20 leg multi bets to try and win $15,000 on a dollar.
Yeah, no. Yeah, well, I'm happy with losing $1.
That Max isn't winning this year.
What's
I'm pretty sure I got a bet on Carlos Sainz winning.
We'll do a cheeseburger on Max not winning the championship this year because of the curse.
I'm pretty sure Carlos was who I said in our predictions to win the championship.
Yeah, you did say that.
Yeah.
Well, isn't that that picture, the meme of 7-time world champion gets upstaged by a 2-time world champion, and then a Ferrari guy comes in and ends up winning?
Yep.
Yes. Yes, Matt.
I have a question, Rob. Where do you think Mercedes will finish this year then?
Fifth.
Fifth?
Behind McLaren.
Behind McLaren. Rob, I like these outrageous claims.
Yes.
Do you think, if that happens, Rob, that Toto will now set because Max is so far away, his new frenemy will become Zach, and we'll see a new season 6 of Drive to Survive will be called Zach versus Toto?
Yes.
Yeah.
They won't bother showing Red Bull at all because they're that far in front.
Yeah.
Oh,
no one cares about them anymore. Like
they're that far in front. Perez can finish second.
but this time last year, Ferrari were going to win. They were far out in front. Max had said he was going to lose the championship.
Do you think that Red Bull is going to implode like Ferrari did, though?
I hope so.
Oh, that'd be
Possibly.
amazing.
That'd be awesome.
Oh,
Remember, we've got 123 races yet to go.
Well, this
Well,
is
well,
true. Yeah.
Yeah, there's still 22 races.
guys,
The,
I'm going to say it now. I have a statement to make.
Yep.
If Max and Lewis crash into each other, resulting in both of them not finishing a race, I'm getting cheeseburgers delivered to everyone's house for Thursday night, and we can eat them. I want to see like a proper explosion of just.
Can I get $5 on that?
You're getting a free cheeseburger.
You know what? Actually, you know what's going to happen, Dave? For once, Lewis is going to qualify in second position, and he's going to blow it by trying to just overtake Max like this, and they're going to clip, and then there's going to be yelling, and there's going to be 80 broken headphones from everyone at Mercedes, because they're all going to see the boss do it and go, well, I have to do it.
who then wins that race?
Oh, we all do. Everyone wins that race.
Alonso.
That's the people's race, Dave. That's for us. Actually, you know what I'd love to see? Just because it would be absolutely stupid. I want to see Albon, Stroll, one of the rookies just to like slide through and just sort of accidentally get a podium just from pure stupidity.
Alonso's already got a podium.
No, Alonso,
the rookie
wins.
of the year.
Yeah, but his little rookie mates. He's going to lead the rookies. You know, there's going to be like rookie of the year and then the three rookies behind him, like a shepherd leading the sheep.
Does Hülkenberg count as a rookie now?
He doesn't count for anything, Boovy.
What the hell happened to him over all this? Like, I've been bagging him out all the way through, and then you're like, oh, maybe I might have to eat my words when he qualifies in the top 10.
Yeah.
And then the race happened.
What happened in the race? Didn't he have damage?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think
pretty
he
sure
did.
he had, because he started off all right, but then something happened. He got car damage.
I think
And then
got car
he ended up behind Magnussen.
Yeah, he also had a 25-second time penalty for off track, but I'm pretty sure there was something wrong with his car.
Yeah, he was driving it.
Hey!
He had something happened.
I'll have to rewatch the race then. I'll rewatch the
Yeah.
video or something.
He did have something. Yeah, there was something that went wrong, but
Yeah, he had front wing damage.
maybe Rob, this is my controversial take. Maybe he's not that good.
No, I think he's all right. But yeah,
Yeah,
he
he's
had
all
front wing
right.
damage.
Latifi's all right as well.
They should have just kept. They should have just kept Schumacher.
No, not
Well,
like Schumacher.
What? He's going to become a Mercedes driver soon.
Oh, is he?
He's
Yeah.
taking over from Hamilton when he leaves to go to Red Bull.
Exactly.
There's no toys in the Happy Meal. That's it. I'm quitting
What?
this podcast.
Oh no, they're paper meals now. They're little paper toys.
what?
They don't use plastic
What?
anymore. That's right. Yeah,
I want.
That should
Stop
be
it.
my rant of the week.
that's
Paper
Dave's rant
fucking
next week.
straws.
He's gonna get a happy
Oh,
meal
yes.
and find out that.
I agree with that, Dave. Paper straws,
Fucking-
they
yeah.
are the worst.
I'm used to them now. I don't care.
Yeah.
I still fucking care.
I do too. They're the worst.
Because I very rarely get that type of food.
Yeah.
And then you do, and then you go to drink the drink, and it's usually because you've had to quickly get something while you 3 hours late for lunch while you're driving around for work, and then you sit in the car and you start chewing on the straw when you're having your drink. And you're like,
the straw.
oh my god!
Get yourself a bunch of plastic ones to keep in the car.
Or get a metal straw.
Get metal straws, Dave. Metal or
Take the-
silicon ones that we've got.
Just man up and take the lid off and drink it properly.
Yeah, well, I have gone down that path.
Are you, Dave, you're an SUV now. Your car should be nice and smooth.
Yeah.
It is
Sports utility vehicle, remember?
beautiful.
Sports.
Oh, yes. Because it's got an R on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can
Nice.
I can drive this one in fucking comfort mode, and it is absolutely beautiful.
Very
And
nice.
you can actually drive it in comfort mode, unlike that other fucking thing beforehand.
Piece of
Anyway,
shit.
All right.
Bye.
Is we done? It's been
We-
an hour and a
we said-
half.
Hey, it's
I
cut.
think we're done.
Yeah, our
Okay.
discussion on straws is over, so obviously the night is done.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't get a toilet break because Bobby didn't have a pre-recorded section, so I could run to the toilet.
So we know where Rob's going now.
Yep.
Yes.
And on that note,
I was going to refill my
Everybody
glass
say,
up on
bye,
screen.
Rob. Have fun at the toilet.
See you, peoples.
we'll see you all next week.
See you
Thanks,
all.
everyone.
Bye.